just about any shoe that says Japan on it, I'm just about guaranteed to do it. I'm here in Tokyo, Japan, where I have been for like 21 years. And my sneaker channel, I've been going for, I don't know, 19, 20 months. And it's always about sneakers. Upcoming sneaker releases is usually what we do a week, 2 weeks before they drop, and talk about what's coming and have a look at the details on that. And that's what we're doing today, talking about these Nike Dunk Low Samba. And I have to be really careful about this because it's not a Nike Dunk, it's not a Nike SB Dunk Low, and it's not a Nike SB Dunk Low Pro. It's a Nike Dunk Low Samba, and we'll get into that in this video as well for you that out there. Some of you may not know the difference between the three shoes. And the quick place, one quick place, bang, to look to see what the difference is between at least two of them. And then also after that, we'll talk about that part of the structure of the Dunk Lows, but also looking at the detail on this guy and talking about, like I said in the title of this video, what is it about these guys that just about guarantee that they're going to have a high resale price. So without further ado, let's get into this and look at all that as we take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Dunk Low Samba. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi upstairs no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And every single day, I've been doing this since December, I think it was December 9th, 2018. So we're past 600 consecutive days without a single day missed. And happy to be doing that. I'm actually on my 1 week summer holiday right now. So I'm able to shoot content a little bit more consistently than I normally would. Usually I shoot content after the house has gone to bed. And then it's like midnight and I'm trying to shoot content for the next day. So it's great to be shooting right now, 4:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday afternoon. Very calm. Little girl's next door having her afternoon nap. Mrs. Butter is out doing shopping and stuff. So here I am, I've got a chance to shoot a video. And what a great video it is. I talked about Japan in relation to this shoe because in 2001 these guys dropped for the very first time and it was a limited release to Japan. And strangely, for a limited release and a sort of location, region specific release, they didn't really have that much of a resale price on them. But today I'm actually predicting that these guys, which are going to have a wider release, are even though they're very, very similar to those OGs, in fact almost identical, I think they're going to actually do pretty well in the resale market. So we're going to get into stuff like that today. But first things first, I said to the new people out there who don't know much about dunks, Dunk Lows, Dunk Low Pros, and SB Dunk Lows, that there's one particular place to look at on these guys. So I'll zoom in on it right here and hopefully I'll be able to explain what you're looking at. I think it's over my right shoulder, is what's called the quarter line, which is the part that separates the midfoot from the toe box, and it straps up there. And now on Nike SB Dunk Low Pros, that quarter line would look very similar to an Air Jordan 1 in that it goes right up onto the top of the laces, and it's sort of the laces come down like this, and then that quarter line comes up, sits right on top of it, and is stitched over the top of the lacing system. But what you can see right here is that the lacing system is actually on top of the quarter line. So these are definitely not pros. An SB Dunk Low Pro would have that quarter line wrapping up over the top of the lacing system. So they're definitely Dunk Lows or Dunk Low SB Dunk Lows, but they're not Dunk Low Pros. And the difference between a Nike Dunk Low and a Nike SB Dunk Low is to do with what's going on in the insole and the inside the midsole, and especially the tongue and the padding around the ankle. Basically, SB Dunk Lows have a lot more support for skateboarders, SB skateboarders. These guys just a straight up Nike Dunk Low, no special sort of features, no extra technology. This is one of the classics, 2001 retro from an OG back in the day, which is one of the most distinctive colorways of the Dunk Low line. And then here we are almost 20 years later. It was dropped in Tokyo back in 2001, and here we are in 2020, right when the Olympics should have been happening in Tokyo. So I'm assuming that there was someone out there thought, oh, you know what, we'll tie those two together and get a bit of free hype for this shoe. Didn't happen because the Olympics have been bumped back a year. An awful lot happening like that in sneakers these days, where the companies and the brands planned for an Olympic push that never came. But today what we're going to do is look at that shoe anyway, because it's a beautiful shoe. It doesn't matter, it's going to sell out anyway. It wouldn't matter if the Olympics were next week, next month, next year, next millennium. This is a Dunk Low. It's going to sell out, and it's going to sell out fast, and it's going to have a great time in the resale market. I said in the title of this video and at the start of this video, I'm going to tell you why. Now, it could be because of the features on this shoe. It could be because it's a great colorway. It could be because of the premium leather, but it's not because of any of those things. It could be because of that tie up to 2001 and the whole Tokyo release release? No. The only reason these guys are going to sell well is because they're a Dunk Low. It doesn't matter what Dunk Lows look like right now. It doesn't matter if it's an SB Dunk Low, a Dunk Low, or an SB Dunk Low Pro. It's going to sell for more than it retailed for. Finished. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I think, let's bring up the Syracuse. I think it was a Syracuse. Was an orange and white. Was it just a straight up Dunk Low? I think it was. That's selling for like 3 times retail, and it's only been a couple of months, and it's a very standard shoe. Very standard. You know, there's nothing really special going on there. And then when you get a shoe like today's shoe, which has got some special hits on it as far as design goes, and it's got a great history to it, it's guaranteed to sell and sell well at retail, and it's guaranteed to sell even better at resale. So if you're looking at these guys to, you know, flip a pair of shoes, it's a good pair of shoes to do. Personally, I've never flipped a single pair of shoes in my life. I have 2 on ice right now that I need to flip. I've got a pair of the 2019 Bred 4s. I accidentally bought 2 pairs of them, and I'm sitting on 1 pair that I can just flip. And the Nike Blazer Mid Sakai's, I talked about them in a recent video when we did the Coney Islands Blazers, that they're a half size too small for me, so I might as well just flip them out as well. But I've never flipped the shoes. I don't know really much about it. I don't know much about resale and all that kind of stuff. But my prediction for these guys, yes, they're going to do pretty well at the resale market. And to you know, get into that and look at the shoe, even though it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's going to do well. You could, you know, just buy them blind and you still be getting yourself a great shoe and a great bargain. But there are some details on there, and what we're going to do is have a look at those. First things first, to me, it's a personal opinion, that I see this as a tricolour, and they're talking about is it silver, blue, and samba, and somehow the red swoosh on the side is samba. I mean, if you said samba to me, I would think like Brazil, yellow and green, you know, that kind of thing. I wouldn't think red at all. But it's blue and silver, even though it's grey, and samba on the side of these guys. So you've got 3 colours on there. And to me, the blue and the silver, I see the blue as being a kind of glossy finish with a little bit of a sheen to it. And hopefully I'm zooming in somewhere on the shoe so you can have a look at that. And then the grey has got a bit more of a matte finish to it, and that provides a little bit of contrast between the 2 different sort of main colors on the shoe. But then the massive feature on these guys is that red swoosh or samba swoosh on the side, and it looks from afar pretty simple, but when you get close to it, first I'll show you on the lateral side, and when you zoom into it you can see that there's a bit of patterning on there. But what this picture here doesn't show you is what the texture of that patterning looks like. So what we'll do is we'll flip that out to a special picture that looks at the heel cup, and you can see there, if you look at the swoosh on there, I forget about the grey of the heel cup for now because we'll come back to that in a minute, but if you look at that red in the swoosh there, you can see it's got that textured effect to it. Now some places are kind of misleading you to think that it's a carbon fibre swoosh. It is not a carbon fibre swoosh. That is not true. It's a carbon fibre effect on a leather swoosh. And the way that you can know that by looking at these guys is, number one, hopefully it's close enough for you to see the texture that's in that carbon fibre, and it's to do with the way they've treated the surface of the leather. But also, if you look at where the swoosh kind of goes across any of the stitching lines on the shoe, you can see that the swoosh sort of bumps. Carbon fibre is a solid material that would not sort of, I don't know what the word is, it would not like fit to the environment. It would just be a straight flat line, but you can see the leather swoosh sort of rolls across the stitching lines on the heel cup, for example, and that tells you it's a fabric and not like carbon fibre. It's not hard solid material, it's a soft, in this case leather. So it's a carbon fibre finish, a carbon fibre effect, a carbon fibre design, but it's not actually carbon fibre. And then it wraps up, that swoosh wraps up to the back of the shoe where you've got that Nike branding. Shout out to my good friends over at God, I've forgotten the channel. How terrible was that? Pint of Stuff. Sorry guys, Pint of Stuff. They love their dunks over there, Dunk Lows, Dunk Low Pros, SB Dunk Lows, anything like that. But they always talk about the E on the back and how the E is all sort of crunched in there and doesn't quite fit the panel on the back. But actually, the branding is not what we're most interested in. We want to get closer to it. Hopefully, it's close enough here to see that that effect of carbon fibre on the swoosh is actually kept through as the swoosh enters into the branding. branding panel on the back there, and you can see the branding panel as well has that effect, that carbon fiber effect on there. Then two more things. I think there's two things left for me to talk about. One is going up onto the tongue, very simple tongue. I think I remember it rightly being white branding on a blue panel, and it's just Nike and swoosh, nothing else up there. For example, SB Dunk Low Pros would have SB Dunk Low Pro written on the tongue there, but it just says Nike and swoosh. And then the last thing to do is flip them upside down and have a look at that beautiful cherry red outsole on these guys, which is complete a great sort of balance of colors across the shoe. Back to the full shoe, looking at the whole thing, very clean, very nice. And there's one thing that I missed out, and that's the heel. I did say I'd come back to those materials on the heel. I said at the very start of this video that it's premium materials on this shoe, and the best place to look at that is on the heel. And hopefully what you're seeing here, we're back at that we're back at that photograph that showed you the actual texture on the swoosh. But if you forget about the swoosh this time and look at the heel counter or heel cup or whatever you want to call that, you can see the quality of the leather that they've used in this picture. And then, like I said, back to the full shoe and looking at that. It's a great looking shoe, great colorway, great story, virtually guaranteed. I mean, nothing's a sure thing in this world, but it's virtually guaranteed that these guys are going to do pretty well at resale if you want them to, or they're going to do really well if you actually buy them and wear them, because they're absolutely smoking hot. Okay, that's enough from me today. Hope you appreciate the content. Always happy to drop by daily and give you this sneaker stuff from Tokyo, Japan. We're edging up towards 1,400 subscribers, so thank you guys out there for the support and the love and all that. Truly appreciate it. It's kind of a strange thing to have kept doing this for, like, I don't know, we're about 19 months in, but I was hoping that the Olympics would provide a kick for the channel, and I'm still hoping for that, you know, in 12 months time. So fingers crossed, what I had planned for this year will turn out well for next year. But for now, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. But you know what? I do this every single day, so that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.